Hello and welcome to For the Love of Baby Boomers show. I'm your host, Dolores Clivert, and I am so happy and glad to have you as my guest today. Today's show is going to be very interesting and informative, and I hope that you can listen to it all the way through. I would like to start by saying that we have had many shows since, I would say, February, and they have covered many, many different topics. Well, you know, boomers, we live our lives, and we all have things that we may do or not do. So we have a lot of topics that we can cover. But I'm going to mention 4 of those topics that we've had in the past and the names, because many of these people that have come are willing to come back and already have set dates to return. We had a really good show called Pet Companion with Miss Laura, and she brought her little dog, Dixie, with her. He was in the studio. He didn't have much to say, but he was here, and he was really quiet, and he loved his mommy, Laura. But during that show, it was really funny. It was interesting. And I found out that the boomers today, they buy carriages and they roll their babies around like, you know, like it's all, that's the way to do. And they have their food delivered to the houses, you know. So, yeah, dogs are treated a whole lot different than when we were growing up. That was Pet Companion show. Then we had a real estate show with Miss Lindo, Danette Lindo, and she actually returned already, and she spoke again. And that show was interesting, talking about real estate, what it takes, what you do. And we had our next one on finance, and that was with Mr. Banks. And Mr. Banks had actually already returned as well. And that is a good one because money, when you talk money, you know, money is, you know, needed in our lives. So talking with him or listening to him about finance was very interesting. Tiny homes. We had a guest very recently talk about tiny homes. Her name is Karen Heitch, and that was interesting. She had a tiny home built for her. I believe she said 533 square feet. Very small, but it was good enough for her and her husband. Her husband recently passed, so it's just her. And I mention these shows because it may be of interest to you. If you miss any of these shows, you can now see them on YouTube. We have grown. For the Love of Baby Boomers is now posting some of these snippets from the podcast shows to not just the Facebook page For the Love of Baby Boomers on Facebook, but also on YouTube. We have some future shows coming up, and they're also very diverse and interesting. Next week, we have a show on dementia. So if you know somebody that is experiencing dementia that you live with, or even you yourself think that you might have a little touch of dementia, this could be a really good show to learn, to have as a resource. Mental illness is going to be talked about in September. We have a person, she's a baby boomer herself. I met her and she's awesome. She left her job, retired from New York, and came down here by herself and met somebody, went to a church, belongs to a church family now. And she did all this as a boomer in her 70s, and she's a mental health specialist. So that's going to be a good show, mental illness. And the last one I'll talk about is, this one got me excited. Oh, let me talk about this. I like this. This one is the children of boomers. We're going to have a conversation with about 3 different women, and they're going to be talking about their boomer parents, growing up with their boomer parents, what it was like, what they were like, and even what their grandparents was like. So that's going to be an interesting conversation. Yes, so that is the past and the future so far. And of course, there's a lot more that has been, we have had past of many different shows. And of course, there's going to be many more to come. I'm already thinking about what December is going to be like. Christmas is going to be like. I have that in my mind. So boomers, y'all are really, really special to me. And I hope that y'all are getting a lot out of the show, and y'all can email us to let it be known what it is that you like about the show or don't like. Comment and let us know. Go on YouTube and make comments on some of the shows you see so that we can make improvements and respond. Okay, so enough about that. What's in the news this week? What's happening this week? Well, it's back to school time. It's back to school time, and we have kids returning to school. So some of you, it doesn't matter where you live, y'all see the kids walking to the bus stop, walking to school. They have their book bag. They have their new clothes and new shoes. No, they don't wear shoes no more. They have their new sneakers or tennis, whatever it is they wear, but they don't wear shoes. Okay, so you see them going back to school. You may have even heard stories or read stories in the news about different topics when it comes to going back to school, what the schools are doing, what the students are doing. And that's typical this time of year. So today's topic is going to be about returning to school over 60. Returning to school over 60. That's right, boomers. Returning to school over 60. And I like to start that conversation with a poem from one of my favorite poets, Maya Angelou. It's not very long, so stick with me and hear this out. Okay, here it goes. Education is a process that goes on till death. The moment you see someone who knows they have found the one true way and can call all the others false, then you know you're in the company of an ignoramus. Oh, I love that word, ignoramus. ignoramus. Look it up. All right. So, in other words, we never stop learning. We could learn from the streets, our family. We could learn from going back to institutions, school. And it's a challenge when you do, and it helps your brain to work. So, boomers, we're going to talk about that now. All right. And back to school. Well, why would you go back to school? Well, you may want to achieve something. You might want to, making achievements is ageless. You might want to go back for a degree because you want to work in a particular field. I mean, you could be 70 years old and say, hey, I want my master's. I've always wanted my master's. I want to take a job doing this, that, and other. Yes, some people want to work for life. That's fine. That's not me, but that's fine. Some people just want to embrace the adventure. It's a personal growth. You have new experiences by going to school, new experiences. So you're not sitting on your recliner watching TV or on the phone. You have different experience. You have a different environment around you. You meet different people. And a lot of the people you meet are younger. And you know what? Young people bring life to you. Okay? They do. They bring life. I taught for many years. I taught college. And I swear I felt younger than my years, because I was around a lot of young people in their 20s and 30s. And they taught me a lot. The older I, got, the more I learned from them. They learned from me, but I learned from them. So going back to college, as a person over 60, will not only teach you whatever it is your class is about, but it will also expose you to the youth, and they have a lot to give. Okay? So embrace the adventure. And when you go back, you can go back and take classes as an audit, where you don't go for a degree, but you go to sit in the class and learn. You don't have to take tests, and you don't pass or fail, but you get to sit and learn. Okay, so that's an audit, and you can go back for credit, a 2-year or 4-year degree. 2 years like an associate degree, and a 4-year could be bachelor's, 5 years master's, something like that. And then you can just take certificate classes. An example of a certificate class would be something like a CPR class, cardiopulmonary resuscitation. CPR, you just go for a short little day for that class. Some classes that a certificate may last a week, 2 weeks, or a day, okay? But it's okay. You go into class, you're learning, you're challenging your mind. You're over 60, but that don't mean that you have to shut down. You keep going. Now, before I go into the reasons that you want to go back to school, let me tell you one real basic reason, and that is going to school over 60, going to college is free. It's free, okay? You don't have to pay. It's free in all 50 states. It doesn't matter if you're in California, Florida, Virginia, Georgia. It's free in all 50 states. So I say to you, take advantage of it and go back to school. Yes, is it too late to start now? Maybe, maybe not. This is still August. Things will, may be open. Maybe not everything is open that you want, but you could take a class. I know when I returned to school at age 40, I didn't know what I wanted to do right away. And I didn't know if I could do it. So I took one class, and that was in acting. Why acting? Because I thought it would be easy and fun. And you know what? It was easy and fun. And you know what? Soon as I retired, I ended up joining an acting group and acting. It was really interesting. So I say to you, think about that. It's free. So some more reasons to go back to school. I mentioned already personal growth. Okay, you're not stagnant. You're growing. You could use it or not, but you're growing. Social connections. You're going to meet people, all kinds of people, not just other students, but other professional, faculty members, admins. You're going to meet all kinds of people, and it's going to bring you in all kinds of directions. It could be good directions. But most of all, it's a challenge. It brings on a challenge to go back to school as an adult. You're going to find yourself having to learn not just from books. You're going to have to learn technology, how to use computers, how to download apps. So if there's things that you're not versed with, you're going to find that you're not just learning how to read here and take in the information, but you're going to have to use things to help you, and you're going to have to learn those things. So It may be stressful. Hear that word. We're going to talk about stress a little later. So yes, challenges, it's going to be a lot of different challenges, but that's all right. It helps you stay young. More challenge you have, the more your brain is going to work and function, and the better you feel when you pass those challenges. And when you don't succeed in those challenges, you're going to feel determined probably and try it again. So if you do return